and investors from across the country. Today is Thursday, May 22nd, 2025, and this is All the Leads Mastermind Podcast number 529. Two of our coaches had some family issues today, and Bruce has to leave early, so we're going to call this call Ask Coach Aileen. Ask Aileen. How's that? No pressure. Tim, what do you got, sir?
I want to hear you talk more.
Nope, that's all I got for now.
Sing? No singing?
Nope.
Wow, pretty boring. Yeah, could be an interesting day today. I was also going to wonder how they become intrepid. You know, you said they're intrepid. Do you know that personally that they all are?
I know it. Majority of them, 72% are intrepid. I did a survey.
Exactly that. Well, that's good. I know you keep rigid statistics.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. This, as always, is your call, not our call. We're happy to be here, and we just make this available as part of what we offer. We're glad to be here with you every week, and we see new faces every week and old faces every week, and we're happy to have you that show up and are with us every week, and we always like new people. Purpose of the call is to take both good news and bad news. If you've got a problem, we're here to help you with it. If you got good news, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear about good things that have happened to you, great things you've accomplished. And if you're running into any challenges, we're here to help you with that as well. So that's what the purpose of the call is. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see on mine, it's a little heart. If I click on the heart, it says raise hand, and I can raise my little hand like that. And that's what you need to do if you want to be called on. We'll be happy to talk to you and take your questions. You may have a different thing on your screen, may show a hand icon. Either way, raise your hand to be called on. We'll be happy to talk with you. It's not a hot seat. We don't abuse anybody. We're just here to help. So we look forward to it and look forward to working with you today.
And we're always looking for our winner of the week. And don't make me give it to David Cordero again. Come on. We got it. It's like the Yankees. People are going to start.
We're not giving him anything today, no matter what.
It's got to be $100 million deal. Oh, or we'll probably call on you if nobody else volunteers. We got a shy group here. I know we have successful people on here, but they just don't want to share their wins sometimes. So we're always looking for.
Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on here. We do want to hear from you, and we're not going to sit here and just lecture you for an hour or try and sell you something or anything else. You know what we do. You know why we're here, and we're here to help you. So if anybody's got anything, please let's hear from you now. Don't wait till the 5 minutes till the end of the hour and go, oh, well, I think I might chime in. The water's fine. Jump in with both feet and let us know what's going on with you. You got anything to say? Let's hear it. There's a hand up. Mr. Hill, Bruce Hill from North Carolina. Bruce, you first-time caller?
First-time caller, long-time listener.
Great, go for it.
I've always been really intimidated to speak up. So I'm gonna share some wins for other people. You know, maybe get the creativity, get things going here. These are wins of agents and investors that I know of today. So I've got a gentleman that is an All the Lead subscriber out of Michigan who had 6 listing appointments last week by following a process of building a pipeline. So build a pipeline, nurture it. 6 listing appointments last week. Some of them were property previews. So one of the things that I like to encourage people to do very frequently is when the personal representative that you're speaking to says, hey, we're in the middle of probate, we have things handled so far, and we don't know what we're going to do with the house yet. Those of you that prospect, how often do you hear that? And my argument would be, you probably hear it a lot. We don't know what we're going to do with the house yet. What does that mean? We're going to sell and we're not ready yet, or we're going to sell and we don't trust you enough to tell you yet. One of the two. Doesn't matter which one. So the question that you ask is, hey, I totally understand. It's probably going to be a while before you decide. If you decide to sell at some point in the future, is it okay if I brought you an offer? You're an agent. Get used to asking that question. You guys want to ask the question, can I list the house? Can I interview for the job? That's not what people want when they're selling a house. That's often a necessary evil. Is it okay if I bring you an offer when the time comes that you decide to sell? Yes. Could I give you an estimated value now so that you can have discussions? Yes. Maybe I could swing by and see the house for 5 minutes next week. Okay, so the gentleman I was just talking to you that had the appointments, they were not all full-blown listing interview appointments, but they were property previews, building some rapport, building some face-to-face awareness, recognition, credibility. Someone else that I work with is now running 3 months at 2 listings a month, 3 months in a row at least 2 listings a month, all from a pipeline. So every single day, 4 days a week, he has a goal of putting at least 2 people into his pipeline. So that's 8 people in a pipeline every week, prospecting 3 hours. Now, 3 hours is a lot of prospecting on a day. I completely understand. There are people that are doing better, but those are two examples of people that I spoke with today that are getting deals. One person, 6 appointments last week, and that's pretty consistent. You know, six appointments is fairly consistent. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 8. Another person, 2 listings every single month, 3 months in a row, all from the pipeline. So I just want to encourage you guys there. Now, let's hear from some of you guys that are having some success. What are your wins and successes? And Tim's looking down, so he's not picking up the conversation there.
I have no wins to share, but who's this David guy? David somebody. There you go, bud.
All right. Well, so I'm going to share because this particular deal was perhaps one of my most challenging, and I don't have those are amazing stories. 6 listings in a week. That's incredible. Appointments, and then 2 regularly every week. Like
that's a different person, but two a month, two listings a month for 3 months in a row now.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's great. So this particular deal that I'm sharing took months, and let me explain. So months ago, this family said, "Hey, we would like you to perhaps sell our place." I said, "Okay." Eventually, and things were just moving really slow. And I asked him, "Hey, how's your attorney doing? Is he slow or fast? Has he got things handled?" They said, "It's been 3 years, and we're 2 years in the rears on our taxes. We're in the rears on our HOA. We don't know what to do. He won't answer our calls. We're out of town. We're at an impasse here." And they're just ready to just quit. And I told them, I said, "Well, this sounds like, quite the quandary." I tried to call their attorney, couldn't get a hold of him either. And so I'm going to try to shorten this. But basically, they couldn't get a hold of their attorney at all. So I said, well, he is a hard one to get a hold of. I said, "Sounds like you guys are in a real mess." They said, "Yeah, do you know anyone?" I checked my investor list. Now, there was another caveat to this property. It had squatters in it. Squatters had moved in to the property. And so, actually, and this was from the previous owner, gave a verbal agreement to a family friend that they can stay there as long as they paid the HOA and taxes for free with no contract. And they never paid the HOAs or the taxes, and the guy died, and they just kept living there. So it was a real mess. And I said to them, this is going to take a lot of energy from me, and I would love to help you guys. My investors don't want it because there's someone living there. They said they'd buy it if they moved out. And they just said, "Well, we've asked them to move out a dozen times. They won't leave. We've called the cops on them. We filed police reports." It was just a real mess. The lady's husband was in critical care. She was taking care of him. So, it was just a really messy situation. So I said to them, they said, would you consider buying it, David? And then you can finish the process and we'll give you a great deal. I said, well, it's going to have to be one heck of a deal because I don't know if, and I explained to them, like, this is going to take so much out of me and I'm going to have to dedicate my time and energy. So they gave me a really good number. And I said, okay, let's give it a shot. Now, throughout this process, I thought to myself, I don't know if I'm going to be able to close this deal. As I went through, I couldn't get a hold of the attorney again for, I'm not kidding you, one solid month. And I mean calling him, having my assistants call him, sending notes, emails, no response. So, and I did a coaching call thing with Bruce, and I didn't tell the whole background, but I said, this attorney's ghosting me and ghosting his clients. And he said, maybe he's just busy, just be super nice to him, keep it going. And nothing in me wanted to do that. So then we tried to switch attorneys. Since it's a small community here, they wouldn't switch attorneys because the attorney said, we just don't do that. So we couldn't get an attorney to take it. The other attorney said, if we do take it, we still have to contact the old attorney before we take it. It was just, our backs were against the wall. So finally, I went to his office like 5 times, couldn't get a hold of him. And I decided to take a step of faith. One of my clients gave me a box of Cuban cigars. I gave him a box of Cuban cigars, and all of a sudden, everything changed. Got a call from him. Got a call from him, and we got the ball rolling. We ended up closing escrow eventually. It took 2 months after we got a hold of the attorney. I had to pay him several $1,000s out of my pocket to close because the other people didn't have any money and they were in the arrears on their payments. And then the squatters, see, I've only had a hard time with squatters and getting rid of tenants. I've never had an easy eviction in my life. And I've only done it twice. Both of them were just horrible, like guys threatening to kill me, the whole nine, like the worst case scenarios, like we're going to shoot you if I see you again, like just the worst. And it took like 9 months for all those. Well, this one, I spoke to my attorney. He gave me the map on how to do it. It was a trick I've never seen before. Sure enough, it worked. We got him ejected. And this is all within the past couple of weeks. I closed, got him ejected, and then now I have the unit rented in like a matter of just weeks. But it was this long, drawn out process of like impossibility. I think I'm going to quit. I don't know if I can do this. All of those feelings. I think I dropped the ball. It's not going to work. And then all of a sudden, everything just worked.
Hey, David, 2 questions. Who did you leave the cigars with? And tell us what the trick was if it's not too long and drawn out, because I think we've all had nightmare tenants. How'd you get rid of them?
Yeah, so the trick was to prove that they did not have a valid contract with the previous owners, right? And so then Hawaii had this thing that I spoke to 4 attorneys. None of them told me to do this, except for this one attorney. And it was just, it was an ejection. It's a simple ejection. And even when I went to the courthouse, I said I needed what is it, an ejection complaint or something? I have the exact form. And they said, we don't know what that is. And they said, who told you? And I mentioned my attorney's name, and they go, okay, we'll come back to you because this guy's like, does more evictions than anyone in Hawaii or whatever. So, and I've never used him before. He's just a friend, acquaintance of mine. So anyway, so they went and they grabbed this form and I filled it out. And then to make my case a little sturdier, I had a affidavit signed by the previous owners, just stating really simply, the current occupants are squatters. They're living there illegally. We have no verbal or written contract that's valid with them, signed such and such and such. So the key was Oh, and also I put they did not pay for any construction, any maintenance, just to cover all my bases. So we had that notarized. With that, I already knew the tenants were trying to figure some things out. They called my brokerage. They said this is unfair. They called the probate attorney saying this guy is trying to eject us. I mean, and the people before me, they just told them that they weren't going to leave for all these different reasons. We had a verbal agreement with your brother before he passed years ago. But anyway, so it was an ejection. So I just did a court ejection. I did the affidavit. I also, the day before court, I sent them the ejection. I sent them the ejection 5 days before, so timing was key too. So it was like right before, which was kind of risky because you have to have so many days for them to receive that, prior to court. So it was all about timing. I gave it to where they'd have to respond to be on their toes. So bam, they got that. And then right before, the day before, I sent them that affidavit from the previous owner. Bam, basically stating, and then I wrote a little side letter like, the fact of the matter is, you're going to lose this case. Anyway, I just told them they're going to lose the case. So please cooperate. And, basically if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you on this. And, yeah. So, and then, I received a call and then I told them, because there was a little judgment. There's only so much of a judgment. They had not paid, catch this, the back rent would have been $400,000. That's how long they stayed there.
Mm.
It was insane. So the back rent was more than I paid for the apartment. So anyway, we couldn't go after the back rent. The judgment was super small. We could either go for the money or just get rid of them. That was the two things my attorney said. So I said, I want to get rid of them. He said, the largest judgment you can put is the amount of the filing fee, which was only $150. So I put a judgment for $150. Well, they did not like that judgment. They did not want a judgment on their record for some reason. So I told them, you're going to have a $150 judgment, but really I feel like that was a smokescreen. They were afraid of me coming after them for the whole back rent, or the previous people coming after them for the whole back rent. So they were really surprised that I only had a $150 judgment. Now, I told them that if they leave and they cooperate, I'm not going to have that judgment on there against their record. So that was a small thing, and it was important to them. So with that, won the court case. So now I have the law on my side, and then they're gone. Yeah.
And you have a cash flowing property.
Now I have a cash flowing property. Yep. Decent cash flow. Yeah.
And equity.
Yep.
Right. What a clean, simple solution, though. Basically, just an affidavit that eliminated anything that would have given them an equitable interest. Just a list of, yeah, and that's simple, And again, though, if you didn't call the right attorney, you never would have known that.
I never would have known that. And I spoke to about 5 of them. And first I called him and he said, hey, my caseload's so big. David would love to help you. Just call me and I'll help you. And then I thought, I don't want to just call him and he'll help me. I don't want to just do that. But then I called all these other attorneys and they weren't giving me a clear answer. They were like, give your 45-day notice just like they all do. Give your this, give your that. And it's going to take 6 to 9 months, blah, blah, blah. But then my other guy said, is it going to take 6 to 9 months? He's all, nah. I said, how long is it going to take? He's like, if you do it right, it won't take you very long. I said, okay, can you help me? He's like, yeah. And he told me exactly what to do. Go to the court, get this ejection, file it, put your judgment. I asked about going after back rent. He's like, no, you can't. He said, it's one or the other. You either go after back rent or you kick him out, one or the other. You just got to choose.
Hey, Camille has a comment. We have a couple of them, but just my first question, who did you leave the cigars with? Did you get in to see him and handed them to you?
No, at the office in his box, I left the cigars. I took a picture and I texted him. And then the
Excellent.
next morning, I had an answer from him.
Brilliant.
And then he said, "Let's deal." Yeah.
Very cool, bud. Good story. Great. How long was it end to end? Oops.
Oops.
I don't know what happened to him.
End to end, this one was like 8 months.
With you, your involvement was 8 months?
No, my involvement was when we said, oh yeah, my involvement with them as a whole from the first conversation to the close was about 8 months. The first conversation to close 8 months. My actual like intense involvement was about 4 months of pretty intense involvement. 4 months.
Well, I begrudgingly have to tell you that you're in first place for winner of the week again. Thank you for sharing. That's a great story. Did Camille
Bruce helped a lot on that. Honestly, that did help. That was a step of faith because Bruce's advice was be nice to the attorney, just keep being nice to him. And I was about ready to try to get him debarred, like I was going to dismantle him, as an attorney. And that would have been the wrong move.
Great. Alyssa, did you have something?
Yes, I really quickly just wanted to mention for Duard or anybody who is watching on stream who wants to hop into the live Zoom to ask a question or anything. The link is alltheleads.com/live. So if you're watching on Facebook or watching on YouTube and you want to hop onto the Zoom to participate, it's alltheleads.com/live.
Great. Camille, if you'll unmute yourself, there you go. What's up?
Well, we just kind of wanted to tell an incident with ours. Cameron is our door knocker. And so we took the list of 60, 30, 90, 120 lates and went door knocking. I'm going to let Cameron kind of tell you about one of our results that went into a probate result.
Yeah, this was the first actually incident. We went door knocking and we were hitting the list. And we actually ran across a property while we were door knocking that looked pretty bad. The house looked vacant and very distressed. And so what we do is when we see properties like that, we leave postcards on their notes and we mark it and then we go to reach out. As we were hitting the lates, how about we got a call from that same house and then we ended up setting up an appointment to go by the house. And then so we went to their house that was
He had two
houses, yeah,
probates.
two probates, yeah. And we ended up setting that and putting offers on those. So putting in action really worked for us over here, and now we're just implementing more door knocking and going definitely to see and then putting in offers. That's what we're doing.
And the thing about the two houses we went and looked at, they had them for a long time. And the sister, that was a brother and two sisters, one of the sisters died. So then they had the son of that sister living in one of the houses. And he was supposed to be paying insurance and upkeep on the house. Well, the hurricanes that we had in Tallahassee came through and trees fell all over that house, damaging the roof and everything. He hadn't paid the insurance, so they had no insurance on the house. So here they are with this house that is totally destroyed. I mean, they were still living in it, had mold in it and everything. Then they also had the other house that the mother had, and it was a hoarder's house. And it was jam-packed. I thought when we went and looked at it for a little house, it would have been worth about $260 to $280. And we went over there in the house. They had just basically shut the door and not removed any of the stuff in the hoarder house. And the ceiling was falling in, the floors were falling in. and they were wanting to sell it. We would have probably paid maybe 5,000 for it just for the lot. The other house needed at least 100K in payers. But the funny thing about it is, we met with them quite a few times, and the guy decided that he was going to do the work himself. Now, he's the one that lived in the house that looked distressed and vacant. So he decided that he was going to fix up the houses himself. But he's still calling, so I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've been taking action, so it's just getting out there and door knocking's the way to do it. And we're taking the late list and hitting all the houses around the late list, not just the late list.
That's
Well, that-
the best part about what you said is you're taking action.
Yep.
Yep.
No, it's like every time we do this, it may be letters people respond to. It may be phone calls they respond to. It may be knocking on the door that they respond to. Could be skywriting, who knows? But you've got to take action. Sitting
Yep.
in, I always make a joke about the tooth fairy leads. You can't put them under your pillow and, hope you're gonna get money when you wake up in the morning. It really doesn't work that way.
You gotta work it. We also found a lot, they also found, because they're the people, I've got a foot injury, so I can't go out, but they're the people out on the ground, and they found a whole bunch of empties going to the late list. The people had already moved out. So we've got a list of people we've got to skip trace to try to find out where they are.
You may want
that's what I was gonna ask you. Congratulations. We've had people take the probate lists and door knock. But the issue there is a lot of them are absentee owner. I would think with the late mortgage, a majority of them are going to be living there. And I'm just curious, we've had a various success stories on calling the late mortgage. I'm curious if they answer the door. What are you saying to them?
Yeah, when I'm saying to them is that we're not trying to I don't want to like throw a red flag that, hey, we know that you're underwater right now. What I say is we're in the neighborhood. We like this neighborhood, and I was wondering if you or you know anybody that was thinking about selling a property. And then what I'll do is, and then they'll be like, no, 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 no. But then I'll just follow up until, you know.
He actually gets in the houses too.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
I come in and talk to him too.
Yeah,
So he's not afraid. He's not afraid of the telephone or door knocking.
yeah, no, I definitely know this is a context where I'm trying to talk to as much people as possible. So, and then I love talking to people. So I'm trying to like put in action, put in work.
That's awesome. Great to hear from you all. Keep us posted on how it's going. That's awesome. Sheila, what's up?
Well, May 2 years ago in 2023, I first contacted this probate lead. He said, yeah, he plans to be here and hire a real estate agent. I'm in Florida. He was in Georgia. Back and forth, back and forth. Finally got his letters of administration 5 months later. And then we finally got a couple of the properties, and they were on the water in Hudson, Florida, which I don't know if y'all know where that is, but they were hit pretty badly with these storms, Milton and Helene. We got 3 of them listed right before the hurricanes hit. And when the hurricanes hit, the houses were not livable. So we finally got all of it. He had some of them rented out, 12 properties altogether. Finally, this past spring, we got them listed. They still weren't move-in ready, but he said, I'll just sell them for whatever the tax appraiser's office says they're worth. Did get 8 of them sold within the first month to an investor that we know. And it still has 3 other properties that are still on the MLS. We're trying to work out a deal to get those sold too. But he was a tough guy to get a hold of. First of all, he said his brother had to sign off on some of them. He wasn't through probate. Then he went out to Wisconsin to some air show and he wouldn't be back. And I know this guy's life story. I have called him and called him and called him. But we finally got most of them under contract, ready to go, and they're sold. So it was a long process with this guy, and he obviously he didn't care about the money. He just wanted to be done with them and not have to worry about the renters anymore.
Hey, Sheila, the ones you had right before the hurricane, when you got them listed,
Mm-hmm.
what was the average price that you had them listed for? And then what did they end up selling for after the hurricane?
They were listed for, let me see. Yeah. They were listed for 200 and we sold them for 125.
And they really weren't livable?
They had been recently renovated, which was hard on him. And had to tear out about 3 feet up of the drywall from the floor up and pull that out. He had mobile homes for sale too, which they weren't affected because they were elevated. So the mobiles, we were able to sell them for, I think, 75 grand each. But the single family homes, there's still 2 of them that have not been sold. One was already sold, and then he's got 3 others, 2 mobiles and 1 single family home that still have tenants in it, and we're waiting for the tenants' lease to expire, and we'll get those sold for him too.
Got it. That's great.
Well, Sheila, as good as this David and Camille's stories were, I think 12 listings, I think you're in first place now. At least that'd be my opinion.
Okay.
I think 12 is probably better than 1. So good job. Those are great stories.
Yeah, this guy, he was the most difficult person to get in touch with. My boss was trying to get in touch with him too, to see, hey, we got an offer. And now anytime Paul calls him, he picks up the phone immediately because he knows it's about money. Yeah.
Awesome. Great stories, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, so Corey Eiler has just asked a question about where do we get the leads, what's the lead time and all that. Corey, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna have somebody reach out to you after the call and walk through all that with you so you can kind of understand what we do and all of that, and we'll kind of walk through it with you that way. So we'll reach out to you after the call and make that happen for you. Hey, Jessica, how are you doing today? Got to unmute there, kiddo.
Perfect. I'm doing well, Tim. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
So we've been getting questions over the last couple of weeks about people, not questions, but comments where people are adding things to their mailing. Instead of just doing straight letters, they're adding content to them to give them a little more volume, maybe basing what we used to call lumpy mail. They're adding something to it like anything to give it some extra thickness.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have to stay within the Postal Service limits, so we kind of know all that. But can you talk a little bit about that? What kinds of things people are adding to get additional attention?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you. So some of the pieces that we can add into mailing. So the most standard mail pieces that we have are, of course, our letters, and the next most common mail piece that I see are postcards. But the way to really help your mail stand out is by adding additional pieces into your mailing. So generally what I recommend is adding in a brochure with your letters, business cards, anything that they can kind of feel through the envelope that there might be some additional incentive to opening up that mail piece. So brochures, flyers, especially for the divorce leads that we carry. I always recommend flyers as well, because once they open up that mail piece, it's something that's a little bit more visual to look at, but still really represents a lot of the same great information that a letter would. So I always recommend switching up the type of mail pieces that you have. So again, letters are always a great addition or something to use in a campaign because it has more of that formal type of structure. But anything that's really going to help you stay in front of those leads, memorable to those leads, those more visual pieces are great. So the lumpy pieces, like you said, Tim, I always recommend brochures, flyers, adding in with those letters, business cards as well, because they can feel that through the envelope too. And I also was going to mention Camille, when she said door knocking, my little marketing brain went off. We also do door hanger designs. So if you want to leave something behind other than just a postcard that might fall off the door, use a door hanger. You can contact myself, or I'm not sure who your MIS is if you're assigned one, but find out and we can talk to you about the door hanger options as well.
Right. And if you guys don't know what MIS is, those are our marketing implementation specialists. Jessica is our most senior person in that group, and she's been doing this a long time, and they're all very competent folks and can certainly work with you to help you get that done. Durward, I see that you're on here and you're asking to get yourself unmuted, and I guess you weren't on the beginning. There's a heart at the bottom of your Zoom screen there that would have a little thing that would allow you to raise your hand, and that's typically the way to do it, but I got you. Go ahead and unmute yourself there, and let's hear what you have to say. Go ahead. We hear you. You're unmuted, buddy. Oh, well, you muted yourself there. Okay, go ahead. No, we can't hear you. Your microphone is not working. Yeah, you're unmuted, bud, but we don't hear a word you're saying, unfortunately. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. If you'd like, we'll reach out to you after the call and have somebody talk with you directly, but I can't unfortunately hear you. Okay.
Or if you want to text your question in too, we can try to do it that way.
Yeah, if you've got something specific you'd like to put in chat, we'll be happy to take a whack at it that way.
Make sure you click to acknowledge that we are recording and streaming. That may be it.
Good point. When you signed on, there's a button that says you have to okay that you're being recorded. See if you see that on your screen. You may have forgotten to click that, and that will unmute you also. Do you see something that says you're being recorded where you can just say yes, okay?
Yeah, that doesn't unmute you. It just allows you to be unmuted. He's still muted again now.
Okay.
All right, listen, why don't you text us your question if you want us to try to answer it. Otherwise, we'll be happy to reach out to you after the call. Okay, good deal, bud. Sorry, and we'll see if we can get some tech support with you. Maybe you can contact support and they can help you work out your microphone for the next call, and we'll get that all squared away, because we definitely want to hear from you and want to help you. Guys, we've got about a fourth of our hour left, and you had some great questions, but we always say we're not going to drag this out. And if you don't have questions, we're not going to make you sit here and listen to us talk to each other. So I'm literally going to take another round around here. And if you have something, please raise your hand. We'd love to hear from you. Love to talk with you. If you've got a great idea, a new plan, something that's worked well for you, something cool, something's happening in your market, anything you'd like to say, let's do it. Raise your hand. Otherwise, we're going to keep it short today. I'm going to go going, and I'm going to say gone. Jimmy?
This might be our shortest call ever. You guys sure?
It's going to be for sure.
I'll just add something really quick.
Please.
Out the door.
The loan coach. I think what I'd like to add is I think a lot of the stories and all the success stories that we've heard, the thing that's the most synonymous with across the board is that consistency, like Sheila consistently calling that one lead, or just door knocking consistently, doing that repeated. It's not this big shiny object or something like glamorous or anything like that. It's just the regular day-to-day putting in the work, and then the results come as the rewards rather come as a result of those actions day to day and not giving up. And oftentimes it comes from something completely different than what you're doing, or it comes to what it seems like out of the blue, but just holding on and being consistent every day.
No, I appreciate that. The one thing that I would definitely say to all of the people that are on who've responded and who talk with us on a kind of week-over-week basis, and I see Cam is on here and he's certainly in this group, and several of you are that are frequently, contributing to what we do. You're taking action. You're getting stuff done. And literally, I mean, we sometimes tend to over dramatize what's necessary to be successful in this business, and particularly with the leads that we furnish, because they're so rich in data and they're accurate and they're relatively easy to work. It's just doing it. You can make all the excuses in the world about how come you couldn't get to it today or whatever, and you'll make the same excuses tomorrow, or you'll take today and say, I'm going to do something different today. I'm going to get these letters out. I'm going to make these phone calls. I'm going to go knock on some doors. I'm going to go drive through the neighborhood. Basic blocking and tackling. If you do nothing else, if you come off of this call, just realize that the people who are making it and doing well, they're doing it. They're working it. They're getting it done. And they have built a pipeline. One of the questions that was going to be asked on here was, how do I build a pipeline? And, a lot of that basic blocking and tackling in real estate, it's getting people who are interested, who are willing to talk with you. And that's kind of, basic walking around stuff that people do. So anyway, we'll ask you when you come back next week, kind of come back loaded, and we're going to come back as well with some cool things that we're kind of get started with the end of the month. But we appreciate you being here today. And Jim, buddy, it's 15 minutes until the hour. We're going to call it a day.
All right. Well, it may have been a short call, but it was a good one. We had some multiple wins, and we always appreciate that, guys. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I want to particularly thank David, Jessica, Camille, Sheila, Corey, and Deward for trying. Deward, let's get you figured out. We'll start the next call with you. And I want to challenge each of you, just take one of the stories you heard today that inspired you, one thing, go out and try it, and come back next week and share your results with the group. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. See you next Thursday. Take care.
Alyssa, leave it up for a second, please. Hey, Durward, you need to contact support if you're not already a customer. It's support@alltheleads.com, or just go to our website, alltheleads.com, and we'll be happy to talk with you. There are multiple ways to get in touch there. You can start with the chat function, and you'll be talking with our support team at that point. Any of those methods will get you in touch with somebody. Okay? All right, good deal. Thank you so much. And with that, we're done. Bye, folks.